Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another NerveOTX Q&A. We're the proud leaders in direct current education, sharing experiences from athletes, coaches, doctors, and other professionals worldwide. Today's conversation is hosted by our CEO, Matt Dell, who continues to lead the charge in getting this therapy everywhere. Matt, good to see you. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We have another good athlete. We're ready to rock with that. So
I'm excited. Yeah, let's. Nobody wants to hear from me. Trust me. So let's bring them on and let's dive in.
Perfect. Well, before we do, we're going to run this. This will kind of give an intro, and then we'll pull them in right after this.
Sounds good.
He learned to throw under Friday night lights. He rewrote the record books in high school. Over 8,000 yards, 90 touchdowns, a championship in his pocket, and fire in his chest. College wasn't a straight line. At Washington, he waited his turn. He watched, he studied, he refused to fold. And then Fresno called, and he answered. A bulldog with bite, leading with precision and toughness, breaking records, throwing for 4,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and earning the respect of everyone who lined up with him. He almost walked away. He almost transferred, but he stayed and fought. And when Senior Bowl came calling, he didn't just show up. He left as the MVP. The NFL noticed, and a fourth-round pick was in sights, a pro quarterback. But then came the whispers, a suspension, doubt, question marks. But he didn't respond with words or get discouraged. He responded with work. He made it to Sundays. He earned snaps. He earned trust. And now, even after being cut, the story isn't finished. Far from it. Because he's been here before. Doubted, counted out, overlooked, and every single time he's come back stronger. This isn't the end. This is the setup. The next chapter is still being written, and as the scoreboard tells the truth, it won't be about the chatter, the doubts, or the headlines before the game. It'll be about the results, the outcomes, the quarterback who refused to quit, the quarterback who makes his own headlines. This is Jake Haener, and he's just getting started.
Space on the outside right, Haener to the end zone. Touchdown, Fresno State! Jalen Cropper. And Jake Haener is the natural.
Nice.
Great intro.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on, man. I wasn't expecting a little video, but I like it.
Yeah, Jake did a great job. Our Jake. Now we got two Jakes. It'll be difficult to know who we're talking to, but welcome, Jake. So
Thank
glad
you.
Spend a few
Appreciate
minutes with us. And
yeah.
You know, the video Jake put together was pretty awesome. But if you could just share some of that, your thoughts on that video and your journey to the NFL. Love to hear.
Yeah, journey to the NFL was nothing short of smooth. It was a toll of peaks and valleys and a lot of adversity along the way. But you know, I think when you get to the NFL, the real work really starts, and you start to understand, you know, what it takes to really be a pro and how to manage those things and, you know, how to control what you can control. I feel like this business, there's a lot of those things that you can't control, and you just need to do a really good job of focusing on, you know, one day at a time, your own mindset, and ultimately those things end up being why you're successful. If you don't start, you know, thinking about all the other things that come with it, and you just stay right here in your own space and keep believing in what you can do, I think you have a really good chance to be successful.
That's great. Well, I got to tell you, from that first picture that I saw of you, it looked like high school. You look like you've definitely grown and matured since that picture.
Yeah, I had a baby face.
A little bit of a baby face. It didn't even look like you were a high school student, like an 8th grader. So
I know, little guy back in the day. I was a young kid, and there's been a lot that's happened from age 14 to 26. So, you know, hopefully still a lot more to come, but there was definitely a lot that has gone on those 12 years.
I can imagine. So were you just strictly football, or what other sports did you play?
Yeah, growing up, I was a baseball and football player. Throughout my career, in my junior year is when I stopped playing baseball. It was really, you know, my opportunity to start receiving scholarships and all those opportunities the end of my sophomore year. And at that point in time, football has now become a year-round sport for those kids. 7-on-7 is a primary focus in the spring, and I think nowadays you don't have nearly as much time to really be able to do both. But I love playing both growing up, and then also grew up playing golf, played a ton of golf, and still play a ton of golf now. Sorry, we got a fire truck in the background.
We gotta love. Where are you calling us?
We're in New Orleans right now. I actually just signed back. I just signed back to the 53-man roster today, so we got some of the things cleared up. And
nice, congratulations! I read that
you.
recently.
Yeah. So it's a hell of a city with a lot of personality. But back to kind of my upbringing, just the whole deal with high school sports and that. It just at that point in time was my decision to really focus on football, and I was going to go to the University of Washington, and that was the path for me. And then ultimately things changed and opportunities started to show up elsewhere, and Fresno State with Coach Tedford at the time was going to be my best opportunity to go and show people what I could do. And then 3 months after I get there, he decides to step down, and he had heart problems and had some health issues that were going to obviously derail him from coaching at that point in time. So Kalen DeBoer comes in, a guy that I had no idea about. Had to build a relationship with him in about a month, and then COVID happens, and we can't go. I was at home for 6 months. So from the beginning of March to the end of September, I basically got to know my head coach, learned my offense, and got to know my entire new coaching staff off of Zoom. Wasn't really around anyone, couldn't really do anything like that. And then we were one of the last teams to report back to our campus, being in California. You know how that goes. We get back 3 weeks before our first game. I had never repped our new offense before. I learned it all virtually. And then we play a COVID game and play 6 games my COVID year. And it kind of felt like a little warm-up season for me before I started really kind of get my name out there. My junior year, or abbreviated senior year, however you want to do it, was my first real, full season as a starter there in 21.
Wow. Yeah. So you've had some adversity along the road for sure.
Yeah, it's gone up and down. And then obviously in 21, going through that season, beat UCLA, had a couple of really good performances against Power 5 teams, all in the top 15. Kind of put my name on the map. And then obviously after 2021, Coach DeBoer gets hired by the University of Washington. And his first thing to me was, before he took the job, was, I want you to come with me. And my next thing was, well, I don't know if I'm going to go to the draft this year, if I'm going to transfer, or I'm going to stay at Fresno. Ultimately, I decided to go back into the transfer portal, and I was going to go transfer back to Washington to be his quarterback for my senior year in 2022. I hadn't graduated from Fresno yet, so there were some complications with me going up there right away. And at that point in time, it just felt like the right move was to stay at Fresno State. So I stay at Fresno State, go through that whole route, fracture my ankle, and have a grade 3 high ankle sprain against USC in the Coliseum, our third game of the season, my senior year. Kind of go through that whole deal. Said I was going to be out for 12 weeks. My season was going to be over. Got a second opinion. Ended up rehabbing the crap out of it. Stem cells, doing all the things that I could. Flying people out, flying different places. Came back in 5 weeks, played on a fracture still, and then we won, I think it was 9 games in a row, and we were one of the first teams we're the first team in NCAA history to start the season 1-4 and finish with 10 wins.
Wow, that's awesome. That is unbelievable. Holy cow. And then I got to ask, this journey to the NFL, the quarterback, this is nuts, because it's probably the most prestigious position without question, and there's very few of them, right?
Yeah.
Tell our listeners a little bit about that journey, going from a collegiate level to the complexities and the speed of the pro level? I mean, it's
Yeah. The biggest thing for me, like I always pride myself on, taking care of my body to an extreme level. I think that was one of my, talking points throughout the draft and throughout the draft process, going to the combine, doing the Senior Bowl. And I think, as my coaching staffs in the past had witnessed how I take care of my body, how I go about my business, I feel like ingraining a professional routine is something that is critical at this level. And some guys don't ever understand what it takes to be successful because they never instill those habits, and what it takes to really prepare, to continue to prep your body, but also just stand on top of what you need to do as a pro, and how to handle it mentally and physically. And as I went through the process, I felt like I had a really good routine from my junior year to my senior year, and then continuing to evolve to where I'm at now. But I think the biggest thing, speed wise, all those things, I think it all comes together, and you sort of start to learn the ropes, learn the process. In the beginning, I think the Senior Bowl is a great opportunity for guys to go and see what the talent level is like. Basically, the top players in the country that are coming out that year, and just really evaluating yourself in that perspective. And I had a great week at the Senior Bowl. Practices were great. Obviously, had a nice outing in the game, and that took care of itself. But the rest of the combine, all those different things, man, it is a draining process. It ends your senior year. You start in June. You play your season. Your season ends late December. I started training January 1st for the combine and for the Senior Bowl. I trained for 4 weeks. I go to Mobile. It is a daunting 6 days of not a lot of sleep, playbook install, going and doing a bunch of different things around the community. It is a long week. You finish that up, you practice, you play, you take another 2.5 weeks, and then you're off to the combine for 5 days. And again, not a lot of sleep. Interviews, you always got to be on. And I think that is the biggest thing that I've learned. Like, you have to be on all the time at this level because people are always trying to replace you. And I mean, you look at it in my instance, I was picked in 2023 as a mid-round pick, 4th-round pick. A kid that they saw that had some upside, that was going to be a kid that they wanted to develop. My offensive staff gets fired my rookie year. Next year, they hire another offensive staff. They draft another quarterback in the 5th round. That's their developmental player that they have, and they want to go through and see. My then head coach gets fired. That staff gets fired. We hire a new staff. I've had 3 different offensive staffs in 3 years. And we've drafted a quarterback every single year I've been here. It's the nature of the beast. And now we got 3 young guys in a room, and none of us are over 26 years old or at 26. And there's just a lot of learning that still is taking place, but also it just shows you how much this league turns over, and how you have to produce, and how you have to always be ready.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. And learning all those, I mean, it's got to be challenging just learning a whole new system year after year, right? So there's no comfort level.
Yeah. I would say, as I've gone through it, I've learned a lot of different systems at this point. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I would say the biggest thing is adjusting to new coaching. Guys want your eyes in different places, want your feet to be different. They're going to coach you in different ways that your old staff might have liked how you did something. Now they want you to tweak something. And it's just constant turnover. And, you gotta be able to adapt. You gotta be a chameleon. You gotta be able to change and embrace change. And I think that's how guys stick around for a long time in this league. They don't have all the answers. They sit back, they take the coaching, and they're critical of adapting the new ways that those guys want things done. And that's one thing I'm constantly trying to get better at every day.
Yeah, that's good. So going back to that collegiate injury, I mean, that had to be, to be able to speed up that recovery, to do everything. And now it sounds like you're on top of it, for performance and keeping your body. When and how did you, come across direct current for the first time?
I got involved with direct current for the first time, I want to say probably when I was 16 or 17.
Okay.
It was something that I hadn't really been introduced to ever. It was at one of my gyms that I had grown up going to. It's called Cal Strength. They do they do a combine prep and everything for guys in the Bay Area. They've done a pretty good job. I've known Dave for a really long time, and it was something that he was looking into. I'm not sure that he ever actually pulled the trigger on it, but it was something that he let me use a few times. And for me, at that age, it was something that I was really curious about. And I started kind of just warming up. I put the patch on my oblique, down on my glute, down near my pelvic region. Started really trying to open up and disassociate in the beginning. And we had somebody walk me through it. I don't think it was an ARP device, but it was one thing in the beginning. I was like, wow, this thing is like, could be a really good tool to help me activate my muscles and stimulate before a workout. And so I went and I did it, and I felt like I was just completely like, I opened up, my left side opened up. And then I went and played golf, and I was like, I've never been able to rotate like that before. I was like, holy crap, like, why am I not doing this for football? And then I got in contact with you guys, did the whole thing this off season, and then into training camp. And it was something that I used every night. I would go on the background setting, I would sleep with it on. And then also I would do my recovery process with it as well. With my trainers, we actually have one in our training room, which coincidentally enough makes it easy for me to use it on a daily basis. But I've been incorporating it into my routine as I've gone through training camp. So it's been something that I think helps me recover faster, also helps me get into deeper ranges, especially when my muscles are sore, and really stress those muscles to help them recover faster, and something that I'll continue to use.
Yeah, I love it. Well, good. I think I've been, and maybe you can be it. We've got a new product that we just announced, an over-the-counter device, very powerful. And I'm looking for an NFL quarterback. I will give you a discount.
Okay.
I cannot wait for the NFL quarterback that, you guys, you're giving away gifts to the linemen and whatever. I know we'll make it if one of the NFL guys like yourself truly takes me up on that offer, and you're actually giving out the new device to your linemen that are there to protect you. So
yeah,
in mind when it comes Christmas time, and
we'll talk about it for sure.
I love it. Well, that's good. I think it is, and I'll have our Jake talk, but it is amazing because we're hearing more and more from a recovery, from a performance. I mean, we've been interviewing pitchers in the MLB and all these, and we're trying to bring this to weekend warriors, collegiate athletes, high school athletes, but it's now we're going to start seeing this more and more prevalent in bullpens and in training rooms, and it sounds like you've got one, which is nice to be able to take advantage of it in the Saints locker room and those trainers. So it's still, I always like to say it's the best kept secret, but I think more and more guys are starting to hear about it.
Chase Young, one of our premier pass rushers for us, swears by it. He had it last year. Like, he works out with it every day. I'm in the weight room going in there. Dude works. I mean, guys obviously in the weight room all the time, but like, there's not a moment that goes by that he doesn't have that thing by his hip strapped up. He's got it wrapped on him, and he is constantly using it on a daily basis. He's actually coming over to my place right now because he lost his portable battery and he needs to buy the one that I have. Okay. So he's like, dude, I need it, blah, 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 blah. But he loves it. He swears by it. And he said, like, he can't go through his process week to week without it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Well, if we could drag this interview on long enough, we could say hey to him. So, well, that's good. Neat. I mean, from a quarterback and from every position player, I mean, it is what you guys, do on a weekly basis is absolutely car wreck after car wreck after car wreck. Now they're trying to protect you quarterbacks.
Yeah. When you're small like me, the hits feel like a lot when you wake up in the morning, man. I tell you that.
I can't even imagine. And so the battle this year, give us some insight on this quarterback battle that you've had with all young guys trying to make, the league.
I mean, honestly, it's been back and forth. And I think it's one thing that obviously now, we're going into a season. There's young guys, young players, unproven players. I think at the end of the day, the best thing you can do, like I said earlier, is control what you can control. And obviously right now, In my situation with me, my training camp, I did everything I could, and I thought I had a really good training camp. Things at the end, probably won't go into that here on this, but there was just some things that obviously didn't go my way, and at that time, it is what it is. You can't sit here and feel sorry for yourself. I know I'm a good player, and I know I'm capable of leading a team here at some point. It's just a matter of when. So for me, just continuing to get better, continuing to help the people in our room and the guys in our room, because we have a good group. Like I said, it's a young group, but I definitely think I can help in more ways than one. So just continuing to improve, find opportunities, and take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves.
Yeah, I love it. Now, did I hear you say correctly that you're on the 53-man squad now?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
This
that's
is my third year. So
okay.
I got drafted in 23, and just going through this process, man, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, boy, the stress level, I can't even imagine. But like you said, every rep, every year you're there, and how does that? One question I would have, I mean, so do they keep? How many quarterbacks do you guys have on the 53?
There's three of us.
Okay, and
There's three of us.
Does that include a practice squad guy, or how does that?
There is one guy. There is another guy on the practice squad.
Okay.
Some teams will carry three quarterbacks and no practice squad. It just really depends on the club and what their situation is. But I mean, I'm pretty sure there's only 9 to 10 clubs that are carrying three guys. So I mean, I don't think that they waste value or anything like that. If they don't see value in a third guy, teams usually aren't keeping guys around. I think you see teams that find value in three quarterbacks, and guys that they believe in, hold on to three because they don't want to lose a guy at any point during the season. So they do their best to try to keep them up. And obviously numbers in this situation plays a big factor. You see injuries happen. You see people get banged up. You got to have an extra spot somewhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes that third quarterback spot, you got to get waived, which in our process here is not a bad thing because you got to go through waivers. And as this whole thing unfolds, people get hurt and people can get claimed at any time. So it's all a chess game, man. And it's all a numbers game. But in the grand scheme of things, we're the best 80 guys in the world at what we do. There's probably only, 80 quarterbacks that are on active rosters, maybe not even, maybe 70 that are on active rosters in the whole world. So just continuing to try to be the best version of myself, be confident, and know that my time's coming and whenever that is, I'll be ready.
I love it. Now, so the challenge of that, right? I mean, you're got to be ready, obviously, on the 53-man. You got to be ready. How challenging that is in practice, especially as you're leading up into the regular season. Not getting reps, not being with the firsts.
I mean, last year I played in 8 games. I started 1 game last year, played in 7 other games, and I mean, let me tell you, it is a challenging deal to be a guy that's standing on the sideline, and then all of a sudden, 1 second, you got to just go in and play. Yeah. It is one of the, I think, hardest things to do in sport. You're sitting there trying your best to not get, tight, cold, like all these different things. You could be standing there for 2 hours and then, like in a blink of an eye, it's 2 minutes left in the third quarter and they're like, get your ass in there. You got to go perform at a really high level and you got to win us a game, and I think at that point in time, you start to try to find little things that you have on the sideline with you. Like I got little weighted balls, try to do things if the opportunity presents itself to get my cuff some sort of, warm up before I go in there. But man, yeah, you always got to be on. You always got to be paying attention, helping the guy that's playing, because it can change fast. And I've been through that. I've lived it, and just trying to do everything you can to be as prepared as possible. I think that's what it comes down to. And I do a really good job of memorizing the game plan, knowing everything we got going on that week, and then obviously bringing it to light on Sundays.
Yeah, God, I can't even tell you. My palms are sweating just listening to that story.
Yeah, we were playing the New York Giants at the Meadowlands. Derek Carr gets hurt, jumps over somebody, breaks his hand, concussion, out. We're up by 4 points. I got to go in and play the New York Football Giants on Sunday afternoon when it's 25 degrees. Been sitting there all game, cold, and you got to go try to win a football game and just get through the rest of the game. We ended up winning the game, but it's just like, those are high pressure situations where it's just like, boom, in the blink of an eye, you got to go out and execute the plan that you got no reps during the week with any of the guys. And you got to go throw on time, and you got to trust it, and you got to trust what you're seeing. So,
yeah, hopefully you didn't come in on a 3rd and long. You run the ball to start off.
I can't remember what it was, but I think we actually, no, you know what it was? It was a 3rd down. I just handed it off, and then we punted, and then I came in the next drive and running the clock out.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is come in cold, throw a pick. You're like, dude, oh no.
Yeah, no, it is a very, very unique thing we go through, man. So
yeah, well, good. I mean, we wish you all the best. We're so glad that we're here to support you. I appreciate it. Can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day, and especially giving up your battery is even more impressive for Chase. I mean,
yeah, right.
I know. He's like, dude, I need it, and I need it now. So he's like coming over here doing his thing, and I'll let him enjoy it for a couple days, but I need to get back on it here soon.
Well, tell him, reach out to us. We'll get him a battery, I promise, overnight.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your time and wish you all the best. We'll be following you. And if there's ever anything you need from us, let us know. And again, remember my offer for the linemen. Hopefully,
Christmas gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
I will. I appreciate you guys, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Good luck and have a great season.
Thanks for your time, Jake.
Yeah. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.